I really appreciate people that continue to make these kind of lo-fi basic videos. So that's basically what this is going to be. And we'll just kind of go through this. It's got an introductory by Timothy Zahn. He's quite a schooled author in the Star Wars universe. He has invented some cool characters. I don't think most of what he has contributed has ended up being canon anymore now that Disney owns the franchise, but I'm actually not totally current on whether or not like characters like General Zahn, or is it Zahn? Or no, that's his name. General, oh gosh, I don't remember his name now. Thrall, something like that. Anyway, I'll edit this out. Star Wars Encyclopedia. So there's an introduction by Timothy Zahn here. This book is quite old. Well, old for me. It's probably purchased at least 15 or so years ago, maybe longer, I'm not sure. Timeline of key events. These pages are stuck together. The Pacific Northwest is quite a humid area, and this book was just sitting in a box for the longest time. Okay, let's check out some of this stuff. This is literally just an encyclopedia of everything Star Wars up until the point that this came out. This was before Disney bought the franchise, so many of these characters are probably considered non-canon, I guess, at this point. I'm not sure. That's Admiral Akbar. He's certainly still canon. Born on the watery world of Mon Calamari, Akbar has risen from humble beginnings to become a renowned military strategist. His championing of the Rebel Alliance after conquering his own inbred caution played a major role in the rebels' defeat of Imperial forces during the Galactic Civil War. He prefers to personally lead major assaults, and his troops still affectionately call him Admiral, even though he is now of higher rank. It's long. Quite a bit of information there about Admiral Akbar. Photo there of Alderaan, Princess Leia's homeworld. Some Imperial walkers, all-terrain armored transport, AT-AT. All-terrain personal transport. All-terrain scout transport. Some of these characters have only appeared in comic books, like this guy, Amanoa. Never heard of him. Oh, it's a woman, actually. Amanoa, Queen of Onderon, more than 4,000 years before the Galactic Civil War. She was also known as the Dark Queen because she dabbed in the remnants of Sith magic introduced 4 centuries earlier by the Dark Jedi Freedon Nad. She was able to call upon dark side forces to battle the Beast Lords of Onderon. Her daughter Gallia succeeded to the throne after Queen Aminoa's death. Aminoa was buried in a stone sarcophagus and eventually entombed on Onderon's closest moon, Dixon, near the body of Nad. Forgive me if I don't know how to pronounce some of this. There's Wedge Antilles, the famous, I think he was part of Rogue Squadron. Aqualish. Goodness, haven't even gotten out of the A's yet. A Titchitcook. I don't think I'm pronouncing that right. Bodo Bass. There's a shot of an Avenger. An Imperial Star Destroyer. The Avenger was part of a task force that searched for rebel forces after the Battle of Yavin. Under the command of Captain Nita, the Avenger was also present at the Battle of Hoth, with which it followed the fleeing Millennium Falcon into an asteroid field. The ship sustained considerable damage and wasn't prepared to capture the Falcon. When the rebel ship suddenly reappeared, a failure that cost the Avenger's captain his life at the hands of Darth Vader. There's Ponda Baba. He's a pirate and smuggler. Walrus-faced Baba, just another miscreant, until a chance encounter with a Jedi Knight in the Mos Eisley Cantina cost him an arm. I think anybody that's seen Star Wars knows about that. Here's a bantha. It's something that the Sand people apparently domesticate. I don't know some of these characters. Garum Bel Iblis. There's a shot of Bespin, the outermost planet in the system of the same name. Bespin is a gas giant, about 118,000 kilometers in diameter. It rotates every 12 standard hours. It is the site of a floating mining colony, Cloud City, once run by smuggler and rebel hero Lando Calrissian. There's the Bith from the good old Mos Eisley Cantina. Pretty sure those guys only know one song. Just from the movie, that's only one song they ever played. Some pictures of some blasters, or a blaster and a blaster rifle. And a blockade runner, a rebel blockade runner. Bomar Monk. Bomar monks, a mysterious religious order that built a large monastery centuries ago on Tatooine. They believe that by cutting themselves off from all sensation, they can focus and enhance the power of the mind and thus journey through inner space. The Bomar monks rarely speak to one another. Often entire lectures are boiled down to one phrase or word. The further that monks pursue their calling, the less they speak or even move, and when a Bomar reaches the final stage of enlightenment, the monk is helped to shed his or her body surgically. The monk's brain is removed and placed in a nutrient-filled jar, finally able to spend eternity in perpetual thought. If these enlightened brains have some business to attend to, mechanical spider-like walking legs are available. Bomar monks still live in the lower levels of what had been their monastery, which in recent years had become the palace of arch-criminal Jabba the Hutt. There's Boshek. He looks familiar, but I'm not sure what his deal is. Boshek. A human smuggler and starship technician, Boshek often flew hot ships for a Tatooine order of monks. Might have been the Bomar monks. After beating Han Solo's time for the Kessel Run, he destroyed 4 pursuing TIE fighters and became the object of a large-scale manhunt on Tatooine. He masqueraded as a religious figure at the monastery and eventually escaped in a land speeder that previously had been owned by Luke Skywalker. It was Boshek who referred Ben Kenobi to Chewbacca when the old Jedi was looking for transport off Tatooine. That's why he looks familiar. He was in the Mos Eisley Cantina, I guess. Maybe. Let's see. There's a bowcaster. It's, I believe, the weapon that Chewbacca preferred. Handcrafted by Wookiees. There's a B-Wing starfighter. I believe those are more of the bomber type class of starships. C-3PX. Not sure who that is. A protocol droid modified by crime lord Olag Grek to be an assassin droid. He looked just like C-3PO, except for an X marked on his forehead. But C-3PX took pity on C-3PO, who was pitted in a fight to the death in a droid arena, substituted himself for 3PO, and let himself be destroyed. It looks like that was from one of the comic books back in the day. It's probably no longer canon either. There's good old C-3PO. Here's a shot of Lando Calrissian. There's the Great Pit of Carkoon. Some of these creatures just popped out of the comic book universe, I'm guessing. There's Chewbacca. Chief Chirpa from the Ewoks. That's pretty. Shot of Cloud City. There's Corellia. There's a Corellian sand panther. There's Coruscant. Coruscant. Looks like what the Earth may look like in a few hundred years if we continue to develop and The population continues to grow. Coruscant metropolitan area. There's an old disgusting character that I remember from Return of the Jedi, Salacious Crumb. He liked to sit next to Jabba and laugh at the horrific things Jabba liked to do to his visitors. Admiral Dala. There's a shot of Dagobah. Dagobah? It's where Yoda was living when Luke Skywalker went to train with him. There's Dantooine. There's a shot of the Death Star. Oh, here's a actual Jawa that has a name, Dathcha, or that's named. A Jawa adventurer and trader, he was famous for taunting a crate dragon and escaping to tell the tale. Dacha belonged to the clan of Jawas that sold C-3PO and R2-D2 to Luke Skywalker's uncle, Owen Lars. Dathcha wanted to leave Tatooine and explore the galaxy, but he never got the chance, as his entire clan was wiped out by stormtroopers searching for the droids. It's sad. I never knew that. There's another Imperial class Star Destroyer. Tenennial Joe. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. Get into there's ease. There's one of those Gamorrean guards that was first seen in the Return of the Jedi film. There's another character from Return of the Jedi. Yarna Da'al Gargan. I don't know where they come up with these names. That's an interesting one. Never seen this before. Gook Hollow Monster. We have to read about Gook. Nature's wake-up call on Clackdoor 7. The Gook rise with the dawn, screeching their mating calls across the jungles. Locals use their skin oils as a heating salve. Okay. Oh, the cicadas have decided to make noise. It's cicada season here. Gnarl tree. There's Gran. Admiral Griff. Here's a character most people will probably recognize. Greedo. He's the guy that thought he had caught Han Solo. There's actually a bit of controversy surrounding this character when George Lucas released the special editions of Star Wars long after the original theatrical release. He changed the encounter between Han Solo and Greedo. In the original film, Han Solo shot Greedo before Greedo could shoot him. But in the newer film, they make it appear as if Greedo fired at Han first. It's kind of a subtle betrayal of Han's original character. A lot of fans believe that Han Solo is more of a, I guess, morally ambiguous character than George Lucas later wanted him to be portrayed. I like him either way. He's a cool character. But there are fans who are very passionate about that subject. Hoover. There's a ship, Hound's Tooth. Hyperspace. This is a character that I don't know if she's considered part of the Star Wars canon anymore either. Mara Jade. I remember her from, gosh, I don't remember which series of novels. The closest personal aide to Emperor Palpatine with a blood oath to assassinate Luke Skywalker. This beautiful woman with a dancer's figure, green eyes, and red gold hair has taken a very long journey. She was once known as the Emperor's Hand. I believe she even might have had a romantic relationship with Luke Skywalker. I'm not sure, I don't remember. After Luke started his Jedi Academy, Mara became a pupil briefly, but left to continue running the guild and help challenge the hit-and-run attacks. It doesn't say anything about her and Luke Skywalker, so maybe not. Let's see. Jawas. There's Jedi Master Yoda. That's a memorable scene right there for sure from The Empire Strikes Back. There's the Genlin Wastes. A dry, hot, and rocky region on the planet Tatooine. It consists of a canyon and mesa. The Genlin Wastes border the Dune Sea and are inhabited by Tatooine's nomadic sand people, or Tusken Raiders. You can almost see why when Disney purchased Star Wars, the franchise, they decided to make a lot of things no longer canon, because it's just such a massive amount of stuff that they would have to recall or remember or take into consideration as they continue to make films and tell the stories. There's a famous character, Ben Obi-Wan Kenobi, portrayed there by Alec Guinness. And then in the prequels, or the second trilogy, he's portrayed by Ewan McGregor. So many interesting characters in Star Wars. Like I say, a lot of these characters may no longer exist in the Star Wars universe. Princess Misa. Is this a... I guess there was an old... Not sure what that was doing in there. Great dragon. The Max Rebo Band. It's another scene that was quite dramatically altered. This character was added in the special edition. It was turned into a full-on musical number in Jabba's palace. Medical frigate. Darth Vader in his meditation chamber. Here's the Millennium Falcon. Quite an iconic ship, to say the least. There's a moisture farm from Tatooine. This book is so detailed they even get into the hollow monsters. I think these hollow monsters are part of the game that Luke was playing with Chewbacca on the Millennium Falcon, I think. Let's see. Monarch Hollow Monster. Oh, I guess they must be based on actual beings from the universe. Monarch, a savage predator from the remote deserts of Socorro. It is respected and honored by Socoran hunters and considered good luck by superstitious smugglers. There's a Mon Calamari Star Cruiser. That's from the... Mon Calamari is the planet that Admiral Akbar is from. There's Mos Eisley. And there's Mosep, the Mos Eisley Cantina, Mon Mothma. She was a important character in the original film, Star Wars A New Hope, Episode 4. Admiral Motti. Muftak. Some of these characters just seem absurd. Princess Nampi, a giant purple snake-like slug from the planet Oruturo. Nampi traps Jabba the Hutt and his crew aboard her ship. She ate Jabba's top aide, Scoopa, luring him with the promise of marriage. She lured someone with the promise of marriage. And I guess to each their own, but she was destroyed when Jabba used a remote control to release a vial of acid he had implanted long ago in Scoopa's head, which by then was in Nampi's stomach. He then looted treasures from the ship of the late loathsome princess. Goodness. She was repulsive. Closing in on about a half hour for this video. I think that actually a little over a half hour, but I think that for now I will call it good. Noah, an overweight old human with a long white beard. He had been stranded on Endor's forest moon for years after a survey ship crashed. Noah had a gruff exterior, but a kind heart. He befriended the young human females, Sindel Tawani and Wicket the Ewok, mostly at the urging of his companion, Teek. He left nothing out of this encyclopedia at the time of its publication. So many of these characters, like I said, probably no longer exist in the Star Wars universe according to the actual canon. Emperor Palpatine. He certainly still exists in the canon. Quite a iconic character himself. There's probably if I had to have a favorite character, I loved R2-D2. Big section for this character. Almost has a entire page dedicated to him. Here are some similar droids. Oh yeah, there's a scary one. The Rancor. That's the beast that Luke Skywalker had to fight when Jabba the Hutt dropped him into the Rancor's pit. Max Rebo. I always thought he was kind of a ridiculous character, but that's the nature of Star Wars. Red Leader. Regesk. Anyway, thank you for bearing with me as I cruise through this little walk through the past at this point. Like I said, I'd say a lot of this book is invalid now. but it's still pretty cool. Thank you for watching.